So here at CQMS Show, it's not just about guys who are selling the machines and equipment, it's also about the people who buy it and use it and how they best put it to work to help them with their business. And I'm here with Simon, who works for the big Irish contractor BAM. Simon, tell me, what do you do at BAM?
So I work for BAM Ireland as a technical deployment specialist, and that means that I introduce digital technologies onto construction sites and projects to allow us to capture the information and to make sure that we're making the most of all the projects that we have. So it's a bit like we're moving from paper into a digital world. So anything that we've done on paper before, we now try and do it in a digital way. It's more efficient, we can capture more data, and we can run analytics on the data. So we use everything from the technology you can see behind us, the machine control, survey instruments, we use machine learning, we use iPads, we use iPhones, we're capturing all our drawings digitally, we use 3D models, and we're using that across all of our projects to ensure that we get the best from all of our projects. Okay, so it just means that we can capture information more efficiently and we can deploy changes that we have to make as efficiently as possible.
Tell me this, Simon, I suppose lots of guys in the industry will remember the times of the wooden profiles being banged into the ground.
I'm one of them.
And of course then the guys that were using the engineer lying over the desk in his site office with the pen and pencil. When did we start really moving into the new age technology?
When will we, or when are we?
When did we start? When did we put down the pencils and the wooden profiles? When did that start happening in the industry?
Well, for BAM Ireland, we moved into a more digital world when we brought in Autodesk BIM 360. That's about 4, 5, 6 years ago. And that has allowed us to bring digital drawings out onto site. It's allowed us to use digital models. It's allowed us to capture asset information. And it means that when we're using survey technology, we can take, for example, the drawings that we want to set out, calculate volumes and so on, control our machines, everything that we want to do. We can control it more accurately, and we can bring a lot more information out onto site. So I can go out now with my phone, and I can capture a checklist or an issue, I can view my models, I can view my drawings, and when I've done all the work that I have there, I can then process that centrally and see how everything is working. So now my project management team are able to see how we're progressing on the site, what work is done, where we have issues, how our quality is going, how our safety is going, and this is what we're using digital technology for. So BAM Ireland and BAM as a group have a 2020 vision to be as digital as possible. It's evolving all the time. We have different people at different maturities. So we have digital maturities, we have people that are very, very efficient, they can pick out their phone and use whatever. And we've guys that might use, just look at the screen and see what there is. But we understand that everybody's different. Because BAM is a GC and a tier 1 company, we also have to bring our stakeholders on our projects along with us. So that means when we have our subcontractors coming out with machine control, or to use diggers and so on, and excavators, we like to use the machine control because we can load the model onto the system and we get the best value back. So they know where to dig, they don't overdig, they don't underdig, we can control volumes. It just makes life much easier for everybody. It means paying is easier, it means quality control is better, and it means safety is better because we're not putting too many people out on the project that increases the safety risk to us. So it's all about keeping people safe. So digital is allowing us to increase the safety across our projects. So it's being used for everything.
And for example, can you maybe quantify if I'm building a motorway like today compared to doing, say, 30 or 40 years ago, how much time is that saving you guys?
If I take a very simple example of a site engineer opens up a roll of drawings, finds the drawing he wants or she wants, figures out what they want to set out, types that into a total station or writes it down on a total station, walks out into the site, sets it out and does the work they do. If it's wrong, they've got to come back and get the right information and do it again. In a digital world, we have all the information on the total station. We have the model, a 3D model, we load it onto the total station, they go out onto site, they set things out, they collect all the dashboard reports, it automatically gets fed back into the system. So if we take one engineer saving even 5 minutes a day, that's 1% of his time or her time a day that we can save. Because GCs work on a very tight margin, if everyone can save 1%, we save a lot of money. And that's just one site engineer on one project. In Ireland, we have about 40 projects live at the moment and quite a few site engineers. So across all of BAM Group, we have, I think it's 600 plus projects at the moment. If we can save 5 minutes for every one of those engineers, it's a massive saving for us. We recently we've applied machine learning to some of our processes so we can see how our quality control is getting better and so on. And over the last 4 years, we've been using machine learning, we've been able to improve our processes by about 20%. So we're seeing massive savings from digital technology on its own. Without not even counting the amount, not using paper. We don't have to print off as many drawings, we don't have to store it. There's knock-on effects of using digital technology over traditional methods.
I suppose the final question is, where do you see this ending? Or is it just something that's going to keep on going and going and going?
I think it's going to keep going and going and going. Everybody in the construction industry is only at the start of this journey. When we look across at other technologies like the manufacturing industry or the pharmaceutical industry or anything else that makes things, they're very much more advanced than we are. Much more advanced than we are with the use of technology. It's not going to stop. The use of machine learning, the use of autonomous machines, the use of prefabrication, off-site fabrication, it's only starting the way it's going. It's not that construction is going to stop. It's not that we're going to lose a huge number of people. But what we're going to see people doing is going to change. And the amount of the safety that we have on site is going to grow. The quality is going to grow. The ability to deliver on time and schedule is going to grow. And we're going to see a much greater cohesion in the industry itself. Things are going to work much more efficiently.
Great stuff, Simon. Thank you very much for that in-depth analysis of what you do in BAM. And thanks for joining us here at CQMS Show. We'll talk to you guys a little bit later on.